My name is Paula Grahusky, and I am the Director of Family Services at Supportive Behavioral Resources in Philadelphia. We are a major supporter and provider of in-home and community supports for individuals with intellectual disabilities. I am going to introduce you today to 3 families that have been severely impacted by the DSP crisis that we are currently living through. Let's meet some families. This is the Zabelski family. Tell me how the workforce crisis has affected Michael and yourself.
Well, I would say tremendously. With Michael, we need help when a constant need. And in general, it's nice to have somebody here to take some of the pressure off of us as far as helping somebody, just watch them so that we do the chores, do the laundry, go shopping, do normal stuff, just pay the bills. It's difficult sometimes without the help. And we had an aide, and ever since she left, he's 24/7 all the time need with 2 people. It almost takes a village. But, with just the mother or father alone, it's difficult, just 2 of us. So you can't get anybody now to take the place of the person we lost, because it's hard to find a person that's going to work this type of job for the pay that they're getting.
So when you lost your full-time DSP, I know things became very difficult for you. Can you please explain and elaborate on that?
Okay, well, I take care of Michael 24/7, and when I did have an aide, it definitely gave me a break where I could run to the store really fast. I could do my chores around the house as well. It also helped with Michael because it gave him a companion, gave him a friend. He's not always with mom and dad. Also, I have a bad back, so they would help me with lifting and bathing and walks, things like that, which Michael really enjoys his walks. And so now it's like I'm full force all over again. I'm not a young chicken. So it would definitely be worth having somebody to come in here and help us out again. But unfortunately, nobody wants to take on that responsibility because it is a job. It is also, it can be enjoyable. But if you're not going to get paid for what you're doing, everybody wants to feel appreciated for what they're doing.
You need somebody out there to help us, And if you're not going to pay them, why would you take a job if you're not getting paid what it's worth to do the job? I know I wouldn't either, but these kids need somebody. We need somebody, and it would help tremendously.
Let's meet the Hogue family.
Hello, my name is Brenda Hogue. I live in Northeast Philadelphia. My daughter is a special needs individual requiring 24 hours of care.
At one time, I know that you had outside staff and you have since lost them. Can you tell us a little bit how that has affected you now that you have had to become the full-time staff?
So originally we did have outside help prior to COVID. During the COVID, because of the shortage, we still tried to keep the outside help, but it just became where people were unreliable. They didn't show up, no show, no call. And then there was the whole thing about masks and shoe covers and stuff that was required to take care of my daughter. So we resorted to family care.
Given the 60-40 rule and how that puts a limitation on the families and how many hours they can support their loved ones, can you talk a little bit about how that has affected you?
So the struggle with that is because my daughter requires 24-hour care, family members were doing, and that's family that basically live here and live close, we were doing 18 hours of care for her. Now we're down to the 8 hours a day, and the rest of the time, the other 10 hours is family support. I am the family support person because other family members work 8 hours a day. So after their 8-hour shift is over, I'm on call. The problem is that I need the income. So I am limited to where I can go and what I can do. My daughter also on some days requires a 2-to-1 staff. And there again, I am the extra person, limiting where I can go and what I can do.
If you had the opportunity to talk to the governor and his constituents, what would you say?
So SBR is a great company. They provide a great service. They are understaffed right now. And even though a lot of the families at SBR take care of their loved ones, because you have limited the amount of hours that we can provide with pay, along with the shortage, you have really cut it short. Especially now when everything is so high and just the economy itself, people trying to live from day to day, that extra income did help them. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Finally, let's meet the council family. Eileen, can you tell us how this has all affected Justin and yourself?
In my son's instance, it means 24/7 care because he's nonverbal and he has, a lot more challenges involved that come along with his autistic diagnosis. Both my husband and I work full time, so it really wasn't an option for one of us to say, oh, we'll just, work part time or not work at all and then take care of Justin 24/7. One, it's not realistic from a financial perspective, and two, it's not fair to Justin. Even though we contract with 3 agencies, it still is a challenge to get and maintain staffing for him. It's a constant source of anxiety for me. I mean, with 1 in 36 children diagnosed with autism, these children grow up, and as they age, their parents are aging. So the need for support is only going to grow over time. And so I really feel like something needs to be done immediate. To me, it's at a crisis level. And if we don't do something immediately, we're going to lose, one, the current good committed staff that we have now, and two, the difficulties in recruiting new staff into this field are going to be at a catastrophic level.
If you had the opportunity to talk to the governor and his constituents, what would you say?
I implore you to consider making a commitment to allocate additional funding to agencies like SBR and all the other agencies that work really hard to recruit and maintain and retain qualified staff to support these individuals. Because without that additional funding, like I said, it's going to be at a crisis level where we have a bunch of individuals with no support and agencies being more handicapped in terms of being able to find those individuals that are so important. To me, they're as important as nurses and doctors are to our society. And so, I do ask that you, take deep consideration over the fact that this funding is not a luxury, it's a necessity at this point. And I thank you for listening, and I thank you for your support.
Thank you for taking the time today to listen to the stories of these 3 families. They are only a few of the families that are suffering through the DSP crisis. I implore you to please remember these faces and remember their stories when it's time to vote for the governor's budget this year. The money that is allocated there will go a long way to help aid us in this crisis. Thank you again.